what up, y'all? Welcome to a brand new episode of Giggles Irene Radio. And today I'm extremely excited because this conversation with this artist is long overdue. I feel it's long overdue because known about you for a long time and you finally released a project and now you're here. Welcome, Xavier.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It feels good to be here. It has been long overdue.
Yeah, like really long overdue. But like at the same time, like things fall into place at the perfect time, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm glad you're here and we get to know you, talk about a project.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Mm-hmm.
It'll be a interview full of substance.
100%.
So yeah. So I do my best to do my own research on artists before they pull up. Okay. So I don't want to be like, so tell me about yourself. Like, the same old questions and stuff. But I've noticed you've been doing music for quite some years, even though I barely found out about you, like, I want to say like a year and a half ago almost.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How did you discover your talents as an artist?
Man, I think I started when I was like 12. My parents had like a Gateway computer.
Mm-hmm.
So they had like this voice recording app. And so I would just like take like beats off of the internet and I would rip them and then I just like record stuff over there.
Okay.
And then I realized, like this is like, I'm kind of good at like rhyming words.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was always the younger kid chilling with like the bigger homies. Like my brother was like 19 at the time, and so I was 12, but I was still like following his friends around. So they'd be like freestyle, little nigga. So I would just start going in. You know what I'm saying? Like they would just like coach me up from there. And then once I turned like 18, I took it really serious, and I knew that's what I wanted to do the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how old are you now?
How old do you think I am? Let's play the guessing game.
Man, I saw an interview where you played the guessing game, but I totally forgot how old you were.
Okay.
But I want to say you're like 26.
I just turned 30 in February.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. You look really young.
I know.
That's
what
good.
Everybody tells me. Yeah.
Everybody tells me that too, so it's lit.
Yeah. No, you do look young. I wouldn't be able to guess your age either. I'd say like 26.
Dang, that's actually the oldest I've ever gotten.
Oh wow! How old? Oh my bad.
It's cool. It's cool. I'm all red now. He embarrassed me, y'all.
No, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. And the interview's over. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's good. That's funny though. But yeah, I don't tell anybody how old I am. But that's a good
it's
guess.
all good. I just guessed because I remember when I was with Vic and them, and I thought I didn't know how old Vic was, and he told me he was 26. So I just put everybody I meet is 26. So that's what I guessed.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, that's funny. I tell Vic that he's 5 years older than he is because he has a kid, but whatever.
Yeah, no, Vic's very mature. 26-year-old. He's very mature. He's very ahead of his years for sure.
Yeah. So was your brother ever into music?
Yeah. So like, because he was so much older than me and my older sisters as well, like when I was like 6 is when they introduced me to like Tupac and
that's
Biggie,
lit. Okay.
like Aaliyah. So like when people were playing with like Power Rangers, whatever, I was like literally trying to mesmerize like All Eyes on Me. So they're like putting me on that stuff like really early. Like my brother's a big hip hop Outkast fan. Like he likes the old school more than now the stuff that's made today. But he put me on that early. He's a big fan. Yeah.
That's dope. Isn't it crazy how our siblings have like such a huge influence on us? Like, especially when there's like a huge age gap.
Yeah, exactly.
Like my brother is 7 years older than me.
Oh, okay.
So when he was listening to rap, I was like, what is this? So like, it's just crazy. I wouldn't be here if I wouldn't have like been put on to like,
the
hip hop.
Influence, because it's kind of like having like a second parent kind of like who when they're under you or when you don't report to your parents, they kind of like you want to get in the way with stuff or here do this but don't do this. You know what I'm saying? They kind of guide you. Yeah. So having that's important.
Yeah, that's dope. It's always a cool story to tell the kids too when they're older and stuff. So
100%.
Do you see a huge difference in trying to break out in music now than it was like back then when you first started? Like
back to when I first started. I think it was more so like I think it was more talent based then. Like it was more so about just like the music. Now I feel like it's kind of about everything around the music, opposed to like say the pie breakdown is 25 25 25 25 back then. Now I'd say it's like 80% your antics of what's going on social media, and then like 10% luck and 10% music.
Yeah, well, we're trying to change that here, which is the whole point of the show. So
exactly. No, platforms like yours bring in undiscovered artists like myself. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to music, especially since like I like the old school stuff, like I fuck with the new stuff. Yeah. Obviously, like we all listen to it like to turn up. There's a time and a place.
Of course.
But I don't know, there's so much talent out there that isn't with like the shits.
Yeah.
That isn't getting the right light because they're not with the shits. 100%. So like I want to change that.
I know you're a big Dreamville fan.
Yes.
And they kind of go against the grain of like what's popular, and it's hard to do in today's day and age. And it's admirable.
It's hard unless you have the money behind you.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
So
that's a big.
I'm trying to get the money behind me so I can help y'all.
And 100%. Appreciate it.
It'll happen eventually. Do you ever feel the pressure like to kind of change your music to like what's quote unquote popping right now, or because your music is it doesn't go with like the trends or like any of the gimmicks like we were talking about earlier. It's you, or it's organic.
Yeah, I when I was younger, I felt the pressure, but like in these last probably like I quit my job like 4 years ago, like working period. Wow. So probably like when I made that jump, like all in or nothing, I realized the only way I'm gonna make an impact in this game is by being myself.
Yeah.
So I think that stopped probably a couple years ago, feeling that pressure. So now I just go into the studio and I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And I like it that way, opposed to like when you press play on a project by quote unquote artist, you kind of know what to expect. I don't ever want them to be able to guess.
Yeah, and it's kind of like how you box yourself in low key.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, especially artists with like gimmicks and stuff. You're like, oh, they changed their sound, like. And then you watch interviews and they're like, oh, this is what I've always wanted to do, but that's not how you got famous. So it sounds weird and like, so it's cool being yourself from the jump.
Yeah, exactly.
And like having everything fall into place because you don't have to go through the stress of having to change your image and do all, it's just, So
yeah, like good. A lot of people are kind of tied into the region that they're from. Me being from the middle of nowhere, I don't really have anything that I have to sound like, so I kind of just can create my own landscape. Yeah.
So when it comes to what inspires you when you're in the studio, like what is it? Is it stories growing up? Is it like the people around you? I know it could be a combination of both.
Yeah, it's stories growing up and it's a lot of the people around me. Like when I first moved to LA, I moved with my best friend. And he, like my best friend since like when I moved to Blythe, California. When I moved to California, I was 7.
Wait, you lived in Blythe?
That's where I grew up. That's where you actually know where that's at?
Yeah, well, because I have family in Arizona, so we would drive through there.
Drive through. You didn't even people live. You didn't know people lived there,
I knew people lived there because my dad used to work out there. He works for construction, so they would send him out every few years to build something.
Got you.
And he would be like, "Oh, there's out there some McDonald's," and I'd be like, "Damn, that sucks."
Yeah, no, that's true. So it's based on that. Like my parents are African, Nigerian to be specific. So like they moved all around before I was born, and they settled in Gallup, New Mexico when I was born, and then we moved to California when I was 7. So it's kind of like I feel like a nomad. I've only lived in the longest I've ever lived in a place was 10 years.
Okay.
Like I've just been here for 5 now. So like to answer your question of what inspires me, it's kind of just like my family story, like how my parents came here with nothing. The people around me, like I lost my friend when I first moved to Los Angeles, the person I moved out here with.
Oh, wow.
He had a heart failure, so like it's bigger than me at this point. It's my friends around me. It's the things that we go through. It's the things that I know I'm gonna go through. I just try to make it relatable and about me. But that's what inspires me is just like literally real life stuff and the things that we've gone through in the past and the things that I know I'm gonna face.
Yeah, and then like even though your stories and what you're saying is from your perspective, there are people that walk alongside that are kind of going through the same thing, so they could relate. And
yeah,
makes
exactly.
them want to tune in and stuff. So that's always great.
Yeah, if you press play on one of my records, I want you to like maybe learn a little bit about me, even if it's not such a good trait about me. I want you to at least know whether it's what we had to do to pay rent back in college, or just girls that I've cheated on in the past, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I want you to know something about me, or like or how my mom was sick in 2017, and how like I almost stopped doing this to like go and be with her. You know what I'm saying? Like just whatever is going on, I want you to know about it.
You're being transparent and letting people know like, yo, this wasn't easy and it's not gonna be easy, but like here I am.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's inspiring within itself.
Because we can't turn up all the time. Like you need those records you could play at like 10 a.m. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the stuff that like makes you think, makes you reflect.
Yeah, exactly.
And that stuff, well, I feel like those albums, those records are my favorite because they either spark something in my life, or it makes me think back to a time where it's just like, okay, damn, you need to like light this fire under your ass.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Really
motivate you.
You know. So that is needed a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I'm glad that you're doing that.
Thank you so much.
Because you don't have to be transparent. You don't have to do that for nobody.
Yeah, no, no, exactly.
So, yeah, that's good. So you just released your album Hackers.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We were at your listening party. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, thank you for coming. I hope you weren't too hot in there, man. The ventilation went out.
You know what? I was hot, but it's because my dumbass. Okay, so I parked like down the street.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, it's cold.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm gonna put on my hoodie. It shouldn't be too hot in there. I walk in and I was like, oh Lord. And like I couldn't take off my hoodie because it was yellow. And my shirt under was black.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't want to walk as it is. Like I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have yellow lint like all over everybody. I was like, oh well, yeah, you just gonna be here sweating for a little bit. I guess.
It's all good. Everybody was sweating together. We had the liquor poured. You know what I'm saying? It was all good.
No, but other than that, it was a good time. That was just me being dumb. Like
I'm glad you had fun through it all.
Yeah, it was dope. Like that whole venue was.
It was a vibe, right? Right when you walked in, after you got past the little sketchy entrance, and you made it through that. It was a vibe.
But like
sure.
you kind of know it's gonna be sketchy because you're like
where you are, because the location. We
so
were
I was just like,
nowhere.
okay. I deadass drove by a few times and I saw you outside and I was like, okay, I'm at the right spot because I didn't see nobody at first.
Yeah, I'm sure we were outside loitering, smoking.
But. Yeah, it was really dope, and I like that y'all had like napkins that said Hackers on it.
Yeah, everything Hackers, everything Hackers.
Yeah, it was really dope.
Yes,
really well put together.
Thank you so much.
So I was excited for you. Still am excited because everything's still like new.
Yeah, now it's still moving. Now we get to roll out more videos. I got 2 videos out so far from the project, and now we just get to keep rolling them out. I want to find out like what the fans like the most. This is the best reception I've ever got from an album I've dropped ever. So I want to continue that momentum.
Yeah.
And parlay that into something bigger. Because I'm already like 80% on the next one. Yeah, any way you can help, I'd appreciate it. I'm like 80% done with the next one, but I have to slow down and
with
just like focus on this one. Oh yeah, Hackers Part 2. Yeah, it's already.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's already a thing.
Okay,
but
we're gonna drop an unreleased track today. No, I'm just
kidding.
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, I want to make sure I package it up and deliver it properly because I spent a lot of time working on the project, so I just want to make sure that it's received properly.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like as long as you have the right people behind you that are able to help you do that, then you're good.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Because oh my God, I can't tell you how many times I get frustrated at the homies that just drop a project, and I'm just like, I didn't even know that was a project. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, of course,
so, like, Like no, I liked your whole rollout.
We're going through the proper channels. Thank you. And it's funny because my manager literally just dropped me like a month ago. Like when I started planning the party, he just ghosted me. I don't care. We could talk about it here today. Because Evan Ross, Ashley Simpson.
Oh yeah.
So he manages them, or he was managing both of us at the same time.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, one day the text just stopped coming in. Ghosted.
Yeah.
But I mean, the show goes on. I just want you to know that we made it all happen with the people that are still by me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why or what. I just hope he's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, he literally just kirked.
Wow, that's wild.
Wow.
Like that's right a bad business.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We were rocking for 15 months, and this was it's time to roll out the album. He hit me on the Tuesday. Said, "Come to this art show on Friday." I hit him on Friday. Yo, what's the RSVP? Crickets.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's all good. I just had to let you know that we're keeping it 100 here.
Yeah, of course.
You said you're happy with the rollout. I want you to know that it was all Vic helped. My boy Milano helped. He's my investor that helps me fund the things that I have to pay for, and we made it happen between us. And Fareed and everybody had to little things here and there, but we just made it happen.
Yeah. Wow. Like the way you guys did everything, it made it seem like everything was smooth. I was like, damn, he has a good team behind him and everything. That's wild.
Oh, I left out one person. My girl handled the food. She handled
really?
All the finger foods and everything. She handled that. I cannot have this interview without saying that. Man, she had to take off work and come from out of town and made it all happen. So. Yeah, she was definitely a part of that process.
Shout out to her. That's dope that she supports you and you're
because it's not easy to find. Some people they'll be like, oh, when are you gonna make this happen?
Yeah,
but no, she sees
it's a long road.
It's a long road, and she supports me through the thick and thin.
That's dope.
Yeah,
shout out to her. And
shout out to her one time.
Take good care of her.
Yeah, no, I will. I promise.
Don't worry, girl, I got you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah.
What's your favorite track off Hackers?
My favorite track is Drummer Boy, track 3. It's the it's the only introspective track on the album. I give you a little bit of motivation because the hook goes, put your hands up. If you don't, then it's good. I've settled on the fact that I'm living how I should. So it's just like we don't need any more like approval from others. Like we're just moving the way that we want to move, and regardless if you put your hands up, I know I'm gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? And it's just about like always being knocked down, but you still got to continue to keep mobbing.
Yeah, like you got you.
Yeah, exactly. You got you, and just keep going, keep your head down, tunnel vision until you win, and you'll be fine. So it's like there's obviously records that like have a better, like a more clubby vibe or whatever on the project, but this one means the most to me for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the one that you would. Are you gonna have a visual for that one?
Yeah, we're gonna have a visual for that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be some deep.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you've seen the visuals that I put out with Duke. Like we always try to make it impactful.
Yeah.
Sharp images. Yeah. So we're trying to continue that.
That's how I heard about you. To begin with, you're through a visual that Cypress sent me. Shout out to Cypress. He's always putting me on.
Shout out to Cypress, man. He helped me down when I first moved here.
Oh, really?
In a big way. Yeah, him and Beat Boy were the first people to like embrace me. Like, yo, come here.
And the track was produced by Beat Boy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, man. Those are my guys. My guys. Yeah.
Yeah. When he pulled up to Listening Party, I was like, Beat Boy. I hardly see him unless I'm like in the studio. So I was just like, oh, shit.
That guy lives in the studio. That's the only place you'll ever find him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was dope. But yeah, when I first heard about you, it's because of Cypress, and he was like, "Yo, if you like this, like, can you post this on Rosecrans?" And I was like, "All right, let me check it out." And it was the Delinquents track.
Oh, okay,
I was like, "Oh, okay." So like after that, like once I like somebody, I'm just like, I am gonna keep tabs on them for a bit,
Thank you
know.
So much.
So yeah, like shout out to him.
Yeah, shout out to Cypress, man. He's the plug. That kid's out of here. I'm so happy for everything that's going on for him right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Everybody has their own little like bubbling factor.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. The city's bubbling right now for sure.
So, speaking of Cypress, your production, he did a few of the tracks on there.
Yeah, he brought the West Coast vibe on there. He had track 5, track 6, and then track 8 with O'Bannon. Yeah. He had 3 tracks on there, and we had those in the stash for a while.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he kept telling me like, man, we need to do new beats. We need to do new songs because those beats are so old to him. But I had to keep those records in the stash and drop them when the time was right. But we got new stuff coming for sure.
I don't know how you guys do that. Like how you guys keep songs like for so long. Like it's crazy. But when the timing seems perfect because
thank you.
I mean, it's not like the beats sounded like they were old. Like they're old to y'all.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, when I was listening on the way home from the listening party.
Yeah,
I listened to the whole thing, and I was like, oh my god, if Cypress pops up one more time, in a dope way, you know? I was just like, wow, I didn't know he had so much like production on this. So.
He had a couple records on there. Yeah.
What other producers?
I had my boy Wave. He's Ali. He produced the Hackers beat. That's Akon's son. He's my little homie. He's like only 22 years old, young cat. Who else was on there? I had RJ Beats, my producer from Ireland, was on there. I had Don Alfonso from Germany. Him and Cypress do a lot of work together.
Oh, okay.
That's actually how I met Don, was through Cypress. Shout out to Don. And then Young Aries, a producer from South Carolina, was on there, and he had some records on there. Those 4 producers made up the whole album.
Wow, just 4. Usually it's like this is by so and so and so and so.
Yeah, I had a lot of records. I had probably chose like these 9 from like 80 that I recorded over the last like year. Yeah, I mean 80 was out of like 150, so I just kept cutting it down. That's why I told you I'm already like halfway done with the next project. I'm not just like doing throwaways. I'm just like reiterating on ideas that I had in that process. But yeah, it was only those 4.
So explain your process of elimination with all those tracks.
It's just whatever. It can't feel too outdated or like the vibe needs to just like be fresh. I'm all about like track sequencing because like when we were younger, albums used to have like a cohesive flow. Like it wasn't just like it wasn't just like this. It took you on a ride. So like I want to make sure that all my projects have that. So in the process of elimination, I'll compile like 4 or 5 together, see how they sound together. Yeah. Like there's records like that could have made on this project that could go on the next one or could go later. It just depends on whenever they fit, where they all fit, like similar instruments on certain songs. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it to all ever sound like one thing.
Yeah.
So it's just like putting together vibes is how I eliminate the records.
So you want it to like flow together well from top to bottom, yet still be able to play well on shuffle.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I don't want any song to sound the same.
Yeah.
Like, that track 2 sounded like track 7. I want it all to make you feel a little different every time.
Yeah. No, you did well. Like you know how to do that well. Because, well, I mean, like I said, I listened on the way home and I was like, okay.
Thank you. Yeah, because the beginning of the album doesn't sound like the end of it, right?
Yeah. So it's like, and it's not like a huge shift in mood. Like you don't even realize that the mood kind of changes a bit,
Yeah,
so
exactly. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, because there's some albums where it's like it'll be like chill, and then like they'll be bouncing off the walls for 2 records,
and then it ends like on a club banger, and it's just like great, like
yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like thanks.
Yeah, exactly.
So elaborate on the name Hackers, because that was one of the singles.
Yeah. Okay. So the name Hackers. So it's all about like back when I was younger, the hackers were like the bad guys. You know what I'm saying? They were like, when the internet came out, they would be cracking codes and they were considered to be like thieves or robbers or whatever, cheating the system. Now with all the technology that we're forced to deal with, where we only communicate on screens, I feel like we've become the hackers, but we're living through the lives of these mediums when the codes to what we want to find is literally just inside of us. And so what we need to do is just hack into ourselves, and that's the code to life. So I feel like that's what I'm a hacker, you're a hacker, she's a hacker, he's a hacker.
Yeah.
We're the hackers now. So that's the way that I shaped the album around that theme.
That's dope, because I mean, you hear that word a lot, and it's just like a general term, kinda.
Yeah.
So to have like that dope meaning behind it gives you insight. When I hope when y'all tune in, y'all like will be able to hear like what you're saying, what you just said throughout the tracks.
100%.
So
yeah, like the cheat codes inside of you, basically. You know what I'm saying? Fine, like you don't gotta go looking through your phone or your screen or whatever you're seeing on social media. Don't let that distract you and throw off your code. It's all inside, basically. Yep.
That's dope. You could do like a whole like book on that.
Oh, I could. Yeah, no, that's why. That's why part 2 is coming. Now, I'm not done with this. Like, I'm not done at all. Because the internet. I always ask people like, what do you think the internet's done more good or bad? Like, what do you think?
I don't know. Like, I wouldn't be here without the internet.
100%.
I wouldn't have like met I wouldn't have met Mies, who introduced me to Vic, who like got me here. Like, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't know. There's like pros and cons,
Yeah.
So like it's crazy. Like I wouldn't have met Cypress. You wouldn't be sitting right here,
Exactly.
But like I do understand like the negativities that the internet comes with. You know, like the bullying, the likes as confidence and stuff like that.
It's like a double-edged sword. Like I don't have the answer. I just wanted to ask you just to spark the interest and see what you thought. Like, because I still wonder that myself.
That's a whole hour podcast conversation.
So that's why I chose the name Hackers, because that exact reason.
Yeah, that's dope. So Hackers Part 2 is gonna be. You're
coming.
gonna elaborate more on
I'm gonna
that.
elaborate more. There'll be a couple more songs like track 3. It will still have a vibe to it, like the second half of the album with the West Coast, but I'll be tapping in a little bit more to personal records.
It's gonna have an audiobook attached, right? No, I'm just
I
kidding.
I'm just kidding. A 30-minute documentary.
I'm helping you out here with some promo.
No, I got you.
No, I'm just kidding.
I got you.
So your features on the project, you have Chris O'Bannon, Diesel. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, you're saying that right. Yep.
And then Triz. So I would imagine that getting the Triz feature wasn't that hard, because I've ran into you guys a few times. Yeah, I've been ran into you guys in Texas.
We ran into each other in Texas. I know. That's my brother. He's at my crib all the time, or I'm at his studio all the time. We linked actually when I told you my mom was sick. I just tweeted out while I was because she was in Loma Linda Hospital in the IE, and I just tweeted out like, I need some weed. And then Triz DM'd me, and he was like, yo, come through, like, I got you. And then we've been like, because I already met him we did a show together a year prior, but like we never like became like bros. Yeah, now we're like broed out, and it's chill. Yeah, that's my guy.
That's funny. If I see one without the other, I'm just like, where's Xavier? Like, where's Triz? So like,
that's why we keep dropping stuff together. So I had to have him on the album.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
So talk about Chris. Like the play is one of my favorite songs, but I'm biased.
I'll be gassing him up every chance I get. That kid's a superstar. Like, it took me a while to get the verse from him, because he's doing so many different things. He's producing for this guy. He's knocking out hooks for this guy. He's knocking out 100 songs a day for himself. I told him he's a new Ty Dolla $ign. The world just hasn't seen it yet. He's just so versatile. So getting that feature was huge. Yeah, I was really happy because I had met him at a Duke Visions event, and we chopped it up briefly about like just making fun of each other for being so tall. And then
oh my gosh.
And then the verse came through, and it just worked so perfectly.
Yeah, that song is my favorite, but I also like really love his voice.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, like, and it didn't sound off. I was like, wow, this sounds so good. Like,
yeah, no, he's the one.
so
He's the one for sure.
you gotta make a visual for that, and I want to.
Oh yeah,
like,
no, trust me, it's coming. It's all coming. We yeah, that's. I think that record could do something.
Oh shit, Irene's gonna have her first cameo, guys. No, I'm just kidding. No,
pull up.
No, I'm a behind the scenes person.
I feel it.
So let's talk about shows. Yeah. So have you done any shows lately? Any upcoming shows?
The last show I did was the Payday LA show. I went into bunker down mode and literally just wanted to pump this out and make sure that this came right. Like I'm always, it's gonna sound crazy. I'm always prepared for a show. Like every week I make sure I run 4 miles, like to get my cardio.
Oh wow.
Keep my cardio in tip top shape because I'm the type of artist. No disrespect to anybody else, but I don't like to rap over my vocals on the verses, only for the hooks, bring some emphasis. But I like to make it sound like it does on the record. So I'm always in show ready shape. I just haven't had any bookings since then, and I needed to finish the album. Now that the album's done, me and the team are actively seeking shows that make sense.
And then you have more content to perform too.
Yeah, exactly. Like, now we got a full album to perform.
Yeah. That's dope. Like, I'm glad that you're taking all of that into account, because usually people just want to book shows for the quick buck,
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like a lot of performances can make or break an artist.
Yeah.
So, and especially like for the fans.
Yeah.
Like, they care about that shit. Like,
yeah, no, exactly.
100%.
Because I've done like over probably like 75 shows. Like I told you, I'm a grandpa, so we've been at this. Like we went on the only first tour I went on was 2 years ago. I opened up for Sage the Gemini and SOBRBE. It was actually their first show. It was like when they first dropped Anti.
Okay.
And so we did like 14 cities in like 22 days, and that's all I needed to see. I was like, oh, I could do this. So it's over with. Like we went up, like people knowing songs after like the first verse and like just vibing with you off of just the strength that you're on stage. And it was a very eye-opening experience. I was like, I can do this forever. So ever since then, it's just been working to get that feeling back. Because like the flight, after the last show, flying back to LA, when it was over, it was like the most sad I've ever been. I was like, why is it over? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to do that every night. Like the long drives or whatever didn't bother me. Like it felt like what I'm supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope. Like it was like a kind of like I want to say like a baptism into this.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, baptism by fire. Exactly. Because I wasn't even on the bill. My boy Derek Pope was the one that they brought on the tour, and me and him had a dope record at the time that was at like 500,000 on Spotify. So he's like, come out and perform this, and then do one of your own. So like I would be selling merch. Then when I would listen to his set, and then when I knew it was time, I'd go backstage and then go rock it and do my song. Then we'd go back to selling.
You were
merch.
like really hustling.
It was like we were hustling and bustling, making it happen. But it showed me like this is everything. Yeah, I never had more fun in my life.
Yeah, and people pay attention to like the energy that you bring and like how you perform, because I know some people like don't care about the openers and they're just like, ugh, like I just want the artist to come on. Like, I've been there before, but at the same time, when an opener comes out, even if I'm not like in the mood to see an opener, if their energy is dope, and even though like some of the crowd is interacting or whatever, like some people come out and they see the crowd don't care, so you could tell that their performance, like they don't care either. So like as long as you give it your all every time, whether it's like 10 people or 1,000 people, like people remember that
100%.
And like that's why I always tell my homies this, you always gotta like tell them like, yo, follow me on Instagram. Like I know it sounds like clout chasing, but it works. I'll always be like, I have my phone, I'm like, okay, is he gonna give out his Instagram or what the hell, because you wanna like tap in, especially if they're carrying so much now as an opener. When they're gonna headline, it's gonna be 10 times as better.
Exactly.
So that's
I still believe in like the one fan a day approach. Like you have to like approach it like that. And at the end of the year, at the end of your career, see where it's at. You know what I'm saying? Treat every person the same.
Yeah.
Every performance, give it 110%. Yeah, and I think that matters.
It's always better to share like a dope video. Like a fan will record and like that's how you get fans too. If they're recording like for me, like if I'm recording the performance is lame, I'm like, and I'm not posting this. And then that's not you're not getting a free exposure that you're supposed to be getting,
Yeah, I agree.
So it's all like a little domino effect. It just goes slowly for some.
Yeah.
So yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about before
Oh
we go?
man, no, we pretty much covered everything. I'm trying to think. The shows are coming, the album's out now, videos are coming. I want to say thank you to you for letting me come and kick it with you. I know we've been talking about this for a while. I actually love your name because that's the name of my mother. My mom's name is Irene. Yeah.
How cool.
Yeah.
I've never met another Irene.
Yeah.
Well, like I obviously I know there are people named Irene, but like
yeah. You never met another one. Yeah, my mom says the same thing. That's funny.
That's dope.
Yeah, no, we've covered everything though. I just want to say thank you for having me and letting me come talk to you about my album on this platform.
Thank you for willing to come up because I feel like I always feel embarrassed when I ask people like, "Hey, do you want to come and let me bother you for an hour?"
Yeah,
like,
no, I was stoked. I want to talk about this album forever. So thank you so much.
Of course. And then when you drop your next one, you'll be back.
Oh yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back.
So let the people know where they can find you on social media.
You can find me everywhere at Xavier Top Floor, Instagram, Twitter. Everywhere you guys follow people, Xavier Top Floor, Spotify, just search Xavier Hackers. You'll find the album. You'll find me. It's all there. Thank you guys for listening. The album's out now. Get it. Bump it. Love it. Bootleg it.
Bootleg it. Don't tell people to bootleg it.
As long as you hear it, man, it's all good.
And I'll be sharing all his links for his social media, for Hackers, and all his upcoming music videos on Twitter and Instagram at Giggles Irene. Thank y'all for tuning in. Stream Hackers everywhere, and we're out.
Yeah.